You know what's wild? The Toronto Blue Jays were literally one win away from ending a 33-year championship drought. And instead of sitting back and hoping for the best, they went all in. We're talking about a franchise that came so close to glory they could taste it. And now they've made a move that's got everyone talking. Look, let me be straight with you. When you've got Vladimir Guerrero Jr. anchoring your lineup, and you're already competing with the best teams in the American League, you don't just need good players. You need that final piece. You need someone who can step up when the pressure's on and deliver when it matters most. That's exactly what Toronto thinks they've found. Dylan Cease just signed the biggest contract in Blue Jays free agency history. 7 years, $210 million. Let that sink in for a second. This isn't some mid-tier addition or a nice complimentary piece. This is the Blue Jays putting their money where their mouth is and saying they're done being close. They want to win now. Now I know what you're thinking. Cease had kind of a rough year with the Padres last season, especially when you look at his ERA numbers. His earned run average wasn't what anyone expected, and there were definitely some rough patches. But here's the thing that makes this signing brilliant, and it's something a lot of people are missing in the noise. For 5 straight seasons, Dylan Cease has been one of the most consistent pitchers in baseball. We're not talking about a guy who had one good year and got paid. We're talking about sustained excellence. 5 years of dominance. 5 years of proving he belongs among the elite arms in this league. MLB.com just released their projections, and they've got Cease tied for first place with Kyle Tucker and former Blue Jay Bo Bichette as the top player most likely to make an immediate impact with his new team in 2026. Think about that competition. Tucker's an absolute monster at the plate, and Bichette was a cornerstone for Toronto before moving on. Being mentioned in the same breath as those guys says everything you need to know about what Cease brings to the table. What separates him from every other big free agent signing this winter? It's the consistency. While other pitchers have shown flashes or had career years they couldn't replicate, Cease has been grinding out elite numbers year after year. The projections have him reaching 200 strikeouts again this season. If he hits that mark, it'll be 6 consecutive seasons with at least 200 strikeouts. 6 years in a row of utterly dominating hitters and racking up the Ks. That kind of strikeout ability changes games. It changes series. When you can consistently miss bats at the highest level, you give your team a chance to win every single time you take the mound. In a playoff race where every game matters, having a guy who can go out there and punch out 10 or 11 batters on any given night is absolutely invaluable. But it's not just about the strikeouts. The projections also have Cease finishing with an ERA under 4 this season. After what happened last year in San Diego, getting back below that 4 mark would be huge for him and massive for Toronto. It would prove that last year was the outlier, not the norm. It would show that the Blue Jays made the right call, that they saw through one down season and recognized the elite pitcher who'd been dominating for years before that. Cease wasn't the only move Toronto made either. They've been aggressive across the board. They brought in pitchers Cody Ponce and Taylor Rogers. They signed third baseman Kazuma Okamoto in free agency. This wasn't about one guy. This was about building something special, and Cease is the centerpiece of it all. Take a look at what Toronto's projected starting rotation looks like now. You've got Dylan Cease at the top, followed by Kevin Gausman, Shane Bieber, Jose Barrios, Cody Ponce, and Trey Yesavage. Read those names again. Gausman's been one of the most underrated pitchers in baseball for years. Bieber is a former Cy Young winner. Barrios has been solid for Toronto. This rotation can go toe-to-toe with anyone in the American League. Actually, scratch that. This rotation can compete with anyone in all of baseball. When you've got that kind of depth and talent on the mound, you're not just hoping to make the playoffs. You're planning to make noise once you get there. You're building a staff that can win you a championship. But here's where it gets really interesting. Dylan Cease has playoff experience. He's been there. He's pitched in meaningful October games. But if we're being honest, he hasn't had the postseason success to match his regular season dominance yet. That narrative follows him around, and you know it's eating at him. This is his chance to change all that. This is his opportunity to be the guy who delivers when the stakes are highest. Toronto is counting on him to be that pitcher who rises to the occasion, who thrives under pressure, who becomes the ace they're paying him to be. And that motivation, that drive to prove the doubters wrong and rewrite his playoff story, that could be exactly what pushes him to another level. All eyes are going to be on Cease during spring training. Fans, media, everyone's going to be watching to see how he looks, how his pitches are moving, whether he's got that confidence back after getting roughed up at times last season. Because let's be real here, Toronto just committed 7 years and $210 million to this guy. If he doesn't bounce back, if he struggles again, it's not just bad for Cease, it's a disaster for the franchise. The pressure's on, no question about it. But pressure creates diamonds, and Dylan Cease has all the tools to shine. His stuff is elite when he's locked in. The fastball plays up, the breaking pitches are devastating, and he's got the mentality to attack hitters. What he needed was the right situation, the right team around him, and the right motivation to get back to being dominant. Toronto just gave him all three. He's got a lineup that can score runs to support him. He's got a rotation full of quality arms, so he doesn't have to carry the entire staff on his back. And he's got something to prove after a disappointing year and playoff struggles. If Cease returns to the form that made him one of baseball's most feared pitchers for 5 straight years, the Blue Jays aren't just contenders, they're favorites to come out of the American League. They've got the pieces, they've got the talent, and now they've got their ace. The 2026 season is going to tell us everything we need to know. Will Dylan Cease justify that massive contract? Will Toronto finally break through and win it all? Can this rotation live up to the hype and dominate like everyone expects? We're about to find out. And honestly, I can't wait to see how this story unfolds. The Blue Jays went all in. Now it's time to see if their bet pays off. So my Blue Jays went all in. Now it's time to see if their bet pays off.